Welcome to Thoughts and Discourses on Digital Transformation. Dive into a world of insightful conversations and profound ideas.
Okay, here's another demo. This time I've updated the last development tool, build tool. I called it Squan Skew. A lot of people gave me some feedback on that. So I'm actually changing it to be actually called Squan. I've got the squan.dev since it's really a development platform. And really I've made a bunch of modifications to it, right? So I've changed the look and feel for this. And so classically what people have done is run one agent at a time, especially on a desktop. They use, standard tools, and the only way that you do multiple agents at a time is you have multiple Claude codes open at a time, or multiple VS codes with an LM beside it, all these plugins. And when I was doing that, I got confused which window was which project and things like that. So I wanted to have what I call a one-to-many relationship. So I want to be able to have multiple agents running on multiple separate projects, and to be able to see one place to go and then be able to basically either tab or click over to all these different projects. Also wanted to have a workflow, right? I'm so used to Agile and things like Kanban boards. I wanted to have that built in as well. So here's Squan, right? So I can actually spin up multiple agents at one time, and then I can actually visualize everything on a Kanban board that tracks every task and moves them through the process, right? I can chat with the agents, and I've ended up building a desktop app, right? So that just seems an easier way to go than trying to use the web, and it's got an integrated web server, right? So that's kind of what I've done. So it's pretty cool. So let me just go into what it is, right? So if I get out this, so here is Squan, and as you can see here on the left hand side, I've got a left hand menu. I've actually got a demo. You can actually load up a demo, and you can see here's my demo finance dashboard, so everyone can do that. I've got as part of this demo, it loads up a bunch of agents. You can see here I've got for a demo finance dashboard, what you can do is clone the repo, and then you can actually start to see this. So you can actually see everything in progress. So I've got open, in progress, peer review, landed, and any things that might have cancelled. You can see here I've got my agents that are actually in progress as part of this demo, and then I can basically view the chat. I can mark, hey, this is done. I can then move them on. And so this way, all of the work I'm doing, it might be interacting with, various different agents. We can then do a whole bunch of work to decide, is it coding, is it marketing, is it writing documentation, is it updating a website? All of this then is, part and parcel of what you can do. The other thing is, of course, sometimes you just want to interact instead with the UI with a console. So here's my Claude console. I've actually got some commands already built into this. I can see the status, give me a list of all the agents that are running. I can kill agents, and all of that kind of good stuff, right? I've got some automations, and then you've got some skills that are basically predetermined agents that you can go and run and do certain things, right? And over time, I would imagine eventually I'll build up a skills repo for this, and then there's a scheduler, right? I want to do some things at night, right? So normally what I'd use this for is, let me go and have an agent that every night looks through my repos and finds security vulnerabilities. So I have a task when I walk in the morning, hey, let me just look at my projects. Is there any new vulnerabilities? or issues that I might have maybe in some of the open source code. Maybe I need to update some libraries, things like that. And here are all my agents down here. This is pretty cool. I can see a list of all the agents. I can see, oh, some are stalled, some are done, and then I can execute new ones. And so that's great. The other thing I've done is I've actually added a bunch of different modules, because what I found is you can really burn through the tokens. I'm probably averaging about $1,000 a month in tokens expense, so it's getting up there. Yeah, I do a lot at night and the weekend. I can really burn through that. And so sometimes now it's like, you know, are we going to look for lower cost models to run? And I haven't figured out a good way to have an agent analyze what the task is and then automatically decide the cheapest way to run some of this. So if anyone has ideas, let me know. So this is, you know, kind of what I've built out. It's pretty cool. Whoops, and over here, this is the releases, right? So it's on GitHub. I made it open source, so it's Tarvet Av, which is my account, and it's called Squan. We got releases. The only thing just now, I've released both a Windows version and a Mac OS. I haven't done much testing with the Mac OS version. The only difference there is you can spin up, you know, some tmux agents using tmux. So that's where we are. I also built a website, squan.dev, and it basically talks through what you can actually do, and there's actually download, right? So you can actually download. I've got some documentation, so give it a try, give me some feedback. Always looking to learn and understand. Again, the big issue on the Windows is I don't have it code signed yet. I'm still applying for that process and going through that. So you're going to get, hey, your smart screen is going to give you a pop-up, and because Squan isn't code signed yet, and so you have to click on more info and run anyway. Yeah, I built it, so I'm confident with it, and hopefully next week I'll have it code signed. I was able to do that for the Mac version, so you shouldn't get the issue with the Mac version. So there we go. Here's a quick demo on squan.dev, and there we go. Thanks everyone.